Okay, we are going to correct the density 3 worksheet. And once again, anytime you're working with density, I recommend that we have the density triangle. Density is equal to mass divided by volume. A student measures the mass of an 8 cubic centimeter block of brown sugar to be 12.9 grams. What is the density? Density is equal to mass divided by volume. Our mass is 12.9 and our volume is 8. And if we take 12.9 divided by 8, we get like 1.6, and the label on that is going to be grams per cubic centimeters. A chef fills a 50 ml container with 43.5 grams of cooking oil. What is the density? Density is equal to mass divided by volume. Mass is 43.5 over our volume of 50. 43.5 divided by 50. That gives us an answer of 0.87 grams per milliliter. Calculate the mass of a liquid with a density of 2.5 and a volume of 15. So if we're looking for mass, mass is equal to density times volume. Our density is 2.5 and our volume is 15. So 2.5 times 15 gives us 37.5, and our mass is going to be labeled in grams. Calculate the volume of a liquid with a density of 5.45 and a mass of 65. So if we're looking for volume, we need to take mass, 65, divided by our density of 5.45. 65 divided by 4.45, and that's we're looking for volume. Yep, I'm sorry. Equals 14.6, and that will be in milliliters. When I saw 14.6, I had density in my head, and that's way too high of a density for a liquid, let alone a solid. Well, unless it's like mercury or gold is up there. A machine shop worker records the mass of an aluminum cube to be 176. If one side of the cube is 4 centimeters, what is the density? Well, if it's a cube, that means that all sides are the same, and we need to take 4 times 4 times 4. Oops. And that gives us 64 cubic centimeters. What is the density? So density is equal to mass divided by volume. Our mass was 176 divided by 64. 176 divided by 64 equals 2.75 grams per cubic centimeter. A teacher performing a demonstration finds a piece of cork to displace 23.5 milliliters of water. When pushed under the water, the piece of cork has a mass of 5.7. What is the density? Density is equal to mass divided by volume. Our mass was 5.7 divided by 23.5. 5.7 divided by 23.5. Ooh. That's not right. Sorry. 5.7 divided by 23.5 equals 0.24. grams per milliliter. I had hit multiply instead and I got a really large number. So hopefully now you're getting to the point where some numbers hopefully don't make sense. Some answers don't make sense, so that you can understand that you may have made a mistake. And I make mistakes. So a carver begins work on the following block of granite. That should be mass. Sorry, I forgot to change that. Of 2,700 grams. What is the density of the granite? So we have to take length times width times height, or 10 times 5 times 20. 10 times 5 times 20. That gives us 1,000 cubic centimeters. Density is equal to mass divided by volume. Our mass is 2,700, and our volume is 1,000, and that should equal, move the decimal point, 2.7 grams per cubic centimeter. A piece of PVC plumbing pipe displaces 60 milliliters when placed in a container of water. If the pipe has a mass of 78, what is the density? Density is equal to mass divided by volume. Our mass was 78. Our volume was 60. So if we take 78 divided by 60, we should get 1.3. Solid magnesium flare has a mass of 1,300 grams and a volume of 743. What is the density? Density is equal to mass divided by volume. Our mass is 1,300 divided by 743. 1.75. And oops. This label should be grams per milliliter. This should be grams per cubic centimeter. 1.75 grams per cubic centimeter. A graduated cylinder has a mass of 90 when empty. When 30 milliliters of water is added, the graduated cylinder has a mass of 120. If a rock is added to the graduated cylinder, the water level rises to 75 milliliters and a total mass of 250. Well, this one's a little bit more wordy, but we start off with a mass of 90 grams, and then we put water in it, goes up to 120 grams. And then when we put the rock in, it goes up to 250 grams. Well, this here is going to be the mass of the rock, and if we subtract them, we get 130 grams. The water was at 30 milliliters, and it goes up to 75 milliliters, so that tells us we have a volume of 45 milliliters. So the density of the rock, density is equal to mass divided by volume. We had a mass of 130 grams and a volume of 45 milliliters. About 2.9. And once again, how you round, I'm not getting concerned about rounding. The label on this is going to be grams per milliliter. Later on life, once you start hitting chemistry, or maybe even next year, we'll start taking a look at rounding. A student performs an experiment with 3 unknown fluids and obtains the following measurements. If the fluids, list how the fluids would be layered if they combined in a beaker and they did not mix. Start at the bottom. Okay, so we need to find the density for all of them. So density is equal to mass divided by volume. So I'm just gonna 2060 divided by 2000 That one has a density of 1.03. And if I take 672 divided by 850, that one would be 0.79. Oops, that's supposed to be a 9. And then if I take 990 divided by 1100, that would be 0.9. And those are all going to be labeled in grams per milliliter. So if we had our liquids here, the most dense one would be on the bottom. So we would have liquid A would be on the bottom. And then the next least dense would be C. And then the least dense would be B. So it should go B, C, A. Okay, while digging in the backyard, you find an old gold coin with a mass of that of 26.76 and a volume of 3. What is it made out of? Well, density is equal to mass divided by volume, 26.76 divided by 3, 26.76 divided by 3. That gives us 8.92 grams per cubic centimeters, 8.92. So that is a copper coin. Now, once again, when we're using density as a property, hopefully we find something close to it. So you think you may have found a diamond. It has a mass of 5.28 grams and a volume of 2. Density is equal to mass divided by volume. Our mass was 5.28 and our volume was 2. That gives me 2.64. And nope, you did not find a diamond, you found quartz. If you find a ring with a mass of 107 grams, you fill a graduated cylinder up with 10 milliliters of water, and you put the ring in the cylinder, and the water rises to 15 milliliters. So it was at 10, and it went up to 15. That gives us a volume of 5. So density is equal to mass divided by volume. Our mass was 107, and our volume was 5. So if we take 107 divided by 5, that gives us a density of 21.4. That seems really high. Oh, that I was thinking that it was supposed to be gold, but it's platinum. And a block on your desk that acts as a paperweight. It has a measurement of 3 by 4 by 6. So if we take 3 times 4 times 6 times 4 times 3, 6 times 4 times 3, that gives us a volume of 72 cubic centimeters. Block has a mass of that. Density is equal to mass divided by volume. Our mass is 184.32 divided by our volume of 72. 184.32 divided by 72 equals 2.56 grams per cubic centimeter, and that means that it's made out of marble. Okay, have yourself a great day.